I really hope you're ready for me to show you a very accurate way to guess Bitcoin and overall crypto price from Friday leading into Monday, July 18th, perhaps even into Tuesday. The algos are playing a very specific set of EMAs right now, and there's a micro channel behind me. So I have the layout of what EMAs and what indicator to use, and just one indicator plus one micro channel, and it's the algos are playing it almost perfectly. The shelf life of the algos playing it, I don't know what it's going to be, but we're going to see when it breaks down. It's likely going to be after you have a resolution of this micro channel dating back to, you can see behind me, the $17,500 drop back here, roughly June 18th or June 15th. That's the start of the micro channel. Let me show you how to use these two in conjunction with each other. You better get ready to get this Bitcoin chart. Check it out behind me. Here is what you search for in the indicator area. So click indicators, and you're going to start typing this guy in, and it's by A. Ballard. And yeah, by A. Ballard 11. And you want to use that. These are the things that you put inside of the wheel. Once you have clicked that, it'll pop up here, and you'll see this guy. You can click whatever. The top two colors are the colors of the actual EMA. So over here, so you see how it's yellow and blue? The top EMA is yellow, and the bottom one is, wait, whatever. That's not blue, is it? I'm not for sure. Oh, it is. It's blue now. It just turned blue over here. It's orange when I'm not clicking on it, but when I go like this, it's blue. So see, it's blue now, yellow and blue. I'm not for sure why it's turning orange, but you can change the colors of the lines, and the fill between it is when the EMA 1 is on top, it's green, which is bullish, and when the small EMA is on bottom, it turns red or it flips red, and that's bearish, right? So you want to just pick any two colors. It could both be white. It doesn't matter. It's really these two bottom colors, and that's the style. See the middle tab style? Go over to inputs. You're going to use the 67, which if you're on the 15-minute chart, so we're going to do the 15-minute chart, the 67 is essentially the 5-minute 200 EMA. So what we're doing is showing the crosses of the 5-minute 200 EMA and the 15-minute 200 EMA, and the algos are, I mean, this is what, it might not be exactly what the algos are playing, but this is representing what is happening in the, 90% of trading volume that's happening in Bitcoin, which are algos and bots. This is giving you a great visualization of what's happening, and it's a fantastic guide. So here's how to use these two in conjunction. Now that you know how to set this up, hopefully I've walked you through that sufficiently. Now you need the micro channel. So you'll want to use, you can use a rotated rectangle as I've done here. So I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4 down, click over. It's the rotated rectangle function. I connected the lows. So the reason I chose the 15-minute chart, it's for strict, it's to make it easy as possible, right? But the reason why it's easy as possible on this chart is because you get the full snapshot of the micro channel that is essentially the boundaries of Bitcoin price for now, until there's resolution out of it, which probably won't be anytime soon. It could be in 5 days or something, but it shows you the whole history of it, and it shows you the most chaos. So it's the smallest time frame that you can see the whole channel, and I've tailored the EMAs to represent that best time frame so you can see it on one page. Does that make sense? Instead of having to scroll, for example, if we go to the 5-minute chart, I would have to scroll left multiple times to see this area here. Making sense? So 15-minute chart, these two EMAs using this indicator that I've shown here. All right, I'm going to delete this now. All right, and so I'm going to delete this. You can go back if you want to set that up. Now, you don't really have to have this horizontal here. And the rotated rectangle, you simply want to connect the lows from June 18th to current lows, essentially. And so this low here, just like traditional markets, did not quite touch the bottom, just like the next up did not quite touch the top. This, like NASDAQ and S&P are doing the exact same thing. Literally, drop down, wave up, wave down that didn't quite touch the same trend line, wave up that didn't quite touch the same trend line, and wave down that did touch the trend line back to the point of control, which is the middle. So it's exactly the same chart, exactly like starting on the same exact day. So Bitcoin is literally following S&P and NASDAQ like literally perfectly. It's almost perfect. With a few exceptions when the spot markets close, and they're closed right now. So Bitcoin might float in a different direction. Anyway, this is essentially the boundaries of what's going to happen. Now, what can create a flip of, so let's take off price. So what are the things right now that are creating price to flip this essentially indicator red is getting close to it could be getting price getting close to the top or price getting close to the middle. The indicator is not flipped red after a bump from the middle, but this is the point of control. It is possible. So now that price has bumped its head and pulled back, you're going to really need to focus in on this, how price, the small candles are, the 15-minute candles are interacting with this EMA fill, so you can have a dang good guess of whether or not Bitcoin will bust up above the point of control, then to meet this horizontal that I have up here somewhere around 23,000, which is also the top of the trading channel, or not. So I would expect, though, that the next time it comes up here, it will at least get a pullback and perhaps flip this red for a price to come back to the point of control. So all you need on this is the point of control and then the top and bottom of this range. And so I'm going to put price back so you can make the same rotated rectangle yourself. The point of control, you can just eyeball this and see where I have it. But the point of control, the top of it is from the wick high, if you want to get this almost exactly like mine, from the wick high of July 22nd. All right, that gets the top of the point of control. And the bottom of the point of control is, let's say the easiest way to do it is, yeah, like roughly the wick high of, well, no, that's July. So the two, July 5th. No, this is all July 5th. So the price action on July 5th. So you have one big pump up on July 5th and another big pump up on July 5th. The first pump up gets the middle, or it's the bottom of the point of control, and the second pump up on the same damn day, because it went straight down and straight up, as you might remember, that's the top. So this essentially helps you understand, or not understand, but helps you get the point of control like mine. So you can see that price. So now we're going to zoom into price. But what I just said is very important, because those are the things that are most likely going to create price to go back down below the now flipped green EMA fill, right? So it's pretty much the point of control and the top of the channel. And make sure that you're following me on Twitter, Cosasverdes with the number 2 afterward. I post some bomb charts for both traditional markets and Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins alike. If online communities are not your thing because you work 14 hours a day and you want more of a layup with JPEG pictures, 1 to 3 a day, 7 days a week, so you know where the market's going, plus recordings of what I do on Discord with my Cryptillion tier for live shows, then go ahead and click the join button below this and a new video will pop up describing what you get. And links to the Discord community if you want to learn how to make money in a bear market are in the links or in the description section of all my videos. All right. Now, let's zoom into here. So this is what I'm going to be looking for to better determine, is price going to get above this point of control? Currently, the point of control is around 21,000 to 21,500, roughly. Okay, it's ascending, so each hour or day it's going to be slightly different, but currently that's where we're looking at. So we're going to zoom into there. I'll keep it on the 15-minute chart. I mean, those are pretty small candles. And right now, is there any reason to think it's improbable? So I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to think about it. Just using one indicator and one channel, okay, with a point of control. That's it. 2 things. Only using those pieces of information. Knowing that this is potential resistance. So knowing that this area is potential resistance, right, could make price go below here and flip this red. It could. Knowing those potential things to happen. Either it breaks above or it gets rejected and flips red. Those are essentially the 2 general things that are getting ready to happen. How can you tell at any moment in time which one is more probable? And when do you get to a 50-50? You want to know that break-even point. Okay? And so I feel that understanding that is the break-even point. Where is it 50-50? I think that's better than an invalidation level. Like, when do my probabilities get closer and closer to 50? So right now, I think it's way more bullish. The probabilities are that it's at least going to hit the top side of this, around 21,400. Seems very probable at this time, right? Because it's bouncing on top of this guy. It hasn't even, so imagine this is quicksand, right? And it hasn't fallen into the quicksand. The one time it dipped its toe, it got right back out. See that? And going back here, so I haven't allowed you to answer the question. I'm like interrupting your my own self with my question. But you can see here that it was dancing on it, dipped its toe, got up, dipped its toe, got up. Oop, can't see what I just did. Get back here, it dipped its toe in it, got up, dipped its toe, got up, dipped its toe, blasted off, then put its whole leg in the quicksand, which created a lower high. another whole leg in the quicksand, another lower high, went fully through the quicksand, lower high, lower high and then higher low, and then it essentially hit the trend line here. So it was getting, can you see how it essentially got sucked into that quicksand? Do you see that? And then it petered out. So let's zoom way in there. And then, so it's like, it's quicksand. It grabs it. It's like something grabbing Price's foot and pulling it back down, right? And so, and it finally left through and came after it went, it came back and used it as resistance, which is why I always talk about that as my the point where things become very probable to flip from bullish to bearish. All right, so we now know that something to this effect is when things flip obviously bearish. If you leave the EMA fill and use it as support and then tick down at least, right? After about this point here, it's obviously way more bearish. Could it flip right back? Sure, but it's not probable. All we care, we're not caring about guessing. We're caring about understanding the probabilities, all right? And that, in turn, helps you guess better, right? As opposed to just being proud of your guess. Like, you should always know, like, when do my probabilities get less and less and less? So right now, understanding that this thing is like quicksand, the probabilities become, so right now, the probabilities are pretty high. Let's just say like 75% chance that it's at least going to hit 21.4, okay? That's the next move. So let's say 70% chance in current. Is that actually the exact percentage? Well, I mean, maybe under these parameters, it's probably pretty close. But if you used other parameters, of course, you can get different figures with different statistical for error. But anyway, so I'm not going to go that far into it. Let's just say it's roughly 70% chance that the next move is up to here as opposed to flipping this red. When does it become less than 70%? Well, if it dips its toe all the way in, like if it dips like, pretty far in here, automatically, I don't think it makes it bearish, but I think it becomes only perhaps, 55 to 60, let's call it 58% chance, something like that, right? 58% chance on the first dip down, something like this, and it's right there. You don't know if it's going to bounce. Price just goes into this about that deep, right? And you don't know how hard it's going to bounce. You don't know if it's going to go boom or not. So you don't know. It's exactly at this moment here, okay? At that moment, before you see a bounce, I would still guess it's slightly more probable to hit this upper target. But your chances reduce greatly because of this quicksand, because you have essentially an enemy pulling down the foot of price. Okay, that's how it's behaving right now. I really hope this video is helpful because it's super simple, but I promise you it's going to give you a damn good understanding of short-term price action. It really should. And I don't think you're going to find like a video like this anywhere else on the entire interwebs, at least for recent information. All right. Now, when does it become even less than 58, like less than that? Well, if it comes up and makes a lower high and then re-enters the quicksand, so lower high and re-enters, at that point, I think that might be your 50-50 mark. Tradingview. So not even breaking below it, anything. But if you get a lower high, so if you go into the quicksand, make a lower high, and then go back into the quicksand, that's automatically, you don't have an edge either way. It could go up, it could go down, it could go sideways. Literally is the assessment at that point. And let's go see what that looked like in the previous moves. So when would it have been break even 50% back here? The last time is actually about right. So it broke in, dipped its toe strongly in, made a lower high, and went back in. Right here, it's automatically 50-50 whether or not the next move is going to go above this local high or flip this red. At this exact moment, before even coming up and doing this stuff, just exactly right here, it was about a 50-50 shot. What is the next move? What is it? Is the micro time frames or short-term time frames going to be up next or down next? Right here is 50-50. Another lower high plus going back in, I think it becomes slightly more bearish. So in this case, if something like this were to happen, if price were then to make, so come back in here, so it's already at 50-50, it goes back up, makes another lower high and re-enters. At this point, so let's mark it like this. At this point, in terms of bullishness, you're probably at a 45% chance. Okay, so let's just keep it on the bullish side only, like thinking bullish chances. It might even be slightly less than that, but let's say 45% because you entered it twice after two lower highs. Are you guaranteed to get two lower highs? No, but there are other. So you can skip straight from 70 down to 10 if something crazy happens. So this is one area. So between 45 and here, this is your break even point. Okay, so you broke into it and made a lower high, and so it's three things: get leg deep into the quicksand, make a lower high, lower than your previous local high, right, on this 15-minute time frame. So oscillations, right? So one oscillation, two oscillation, three oscillation, comes up, another oscillation. Anyway, leg deep, lower high, go back in. At that third thing, go back in after a lower high. That's when you're break even. Exactly. You don't have an edge. So if you're in longs that are still in profit, that could be a good time to start shaving stuff off and walking your stops up to break even to get into a guaranteed winning trade because you're at break even. Plus, you've already taken half profits or 30% profits at least to cover the fees after a break even stop out. Right? That would probably be about the time. Now, what else could happen that would flip probabilities rather quickly? Is if it straight up just went way below it, like on a big fat red candle like this, and then came back up to get rejected, and then ticked down a little bit, even before breaking that. If you see something to this effect, before breaking the first local low as it crossed. But I mean, just coming up and use it as resistance, and not even breaking the local low it made as it fell below. I mean, if it did this and you never got the 55, you never got the 50 and the 45, it just goes straight from 70%, and then it could flip to 70% bearish. So it can go straight from 70% to 30% chance of being bullish move in an instant. That could be the move. Does that happen very often? No, but it does happen. I mean, it's not the most common way to do it, but we might be able to find an example of that. Well, something to this effect, but it was the it was technically the third lower high, third time going in, so it's kind of flipping red already. But imagine something like this were to happen and it comes back up, get resisted, and it hadn't done all this before. This kind of stuff happens on the first dip down. So you can see an aggressive dip down that perfectly touched here. Let's zoom into this area. So this did not flip straight from 70 to the other 70% bullish, 70% bearish, because it never used this as resistance. See that? It did go below. It probably made it close to 50-50 if you break straight below after being, way more bullish than anything, but you go below at that exact moment before you even can tell, is it going to get resisted? Is it going to get rejected or bust through? At that moment, you probably flip instant, maybe slightly bearish. It might be a 51-49 type of deal. But as you break back in and then use that as support, I think you flip slightly back bullish, right? Not by a lot, because this could be a lower high and then it gets sucked back in and then tanks. But at that time, it's you don't really have an edge. Are you seeing this? So are these exact probabilities? I backtested 1,000 data points. No, I'm giving you a general idea of understanding. I have a strong edge to the upside. So you can replace the number 70 with strong edge. You can replace the number 50 with I don't know. It truly could go either way. And then anything in between, I have some form of edge, but not that strong. So that's your 55. So when you have a strong edge to sort of a decent edge to no edge, that is roughly the numbers. Instead of saying that, I'm using numbers to make a better connection with my viewers. All right. Anyway, but those aren't actually, if I did 1,000 data points, I mean, those numbers might be close, but I haven't done that. So so don't don't take those numbers and write them in your journal or something. All right. And that's how you do it. So the trading channel, the way it works is when to start being a little defensive and really start to observe how candles are interacting with this when it bumps its head either on the point of control or up here. And that's it. And so right now is a pretty integral point. You don't want to be on your phone the whole damn time. But what you could do is if you're worried, or interested in knowing it when your probabilities change, you could just set a damn alert right here and not look at your phone or your computer until it dings, right? You just scroll over and hit the plus button. See this, right? What I'm doing right over here? Right, actually, you can see it, right? Oh, it disappeared. Here, let's point to it. See that? Right there. I'm pointing to it. See that plus button? So you just put an alert there. Boom. Add alert. Done. So if I'm in a long or whatever, and I don't even have to worry about it until that's it. Like a long in profit that I took back here or something. Like, you don't even have to look at it until that's hit, until it goes ding, and you're good to go. Because you know it's probably going to get slowly continue. It doesn't look like it's going to blast off anytime soon because you got resistance here, but it could. You don't have to worry about stuff if you're long until, that happens. So you can go play with your kids or something until that happens, right? Instead of staring at your damn chart all the time. And then honestly, setting alerts has helped me tremendously to look at the chart a lot less when it's really not needed. And that should get you through. So using the trading channel together with this EMA fill, which will show you how to use, it really should allow you to know from any point over the weekend, how probable is it to go up, how probable is it to go down, and answer the question, do I have an edge at all? Which I showed you conditions for it to be roughly 50-50. Like this video right here, if you're trying to piss around with futures and you're new to it, I'm going to give you the best tips that you can get on the interwebs, most likely if you're just starting out. And click this video right here. If you don't know how to set up a chart like mine with RSI, stochastics, templates, I made a Tradingview tutorial just for you to make your crypto journey a lot more profitable. So you just got Timified Worldwide. Happy Friday. Peace out.